Welcome to all the amazing YouTube people. Dunimer here with another card quest video. You are amazing because you love video games, and I think that's fantastic. Anyhow, here we are in my final for a bit episode of Card Quest. Like I said yesterday, today it's gonna be a huge rant about this game. So there'll be no gameplay today, so if you came to watch gameplay, well, watch some of my other videos. So the plan is to talk about this game for like 20 to 30 minutes here, and yeah, my experiences. This will not really be review per se, but it's gonna give you like, this is like an, how should we call it? Impressions video. Well, a long impressions video. After I played through like all the areas multiple times with multiple different classes, collected, as far as I know, all the items, although I still don't have the Steam achievement. So I don't know, we're gonna go through all the items today on the fighter once more, so let me know if I'm missing something. I don't know. I double checked the Steam forums for the item list and it feels like I have everything, but well, you never know. In any case, I'm pretty much done with the progression in this game for now. I might decide to play some interesting item combinations next week, but there will not be any more daily videos. I would like to focus more on card survival and maybe on some other games as well. But yeah, without further ado, let's go in and we're gonna talk a little bit about our journey. So I picked this game up like, I guess it's been months now, right? So I find out about card survival from Retromation's channel, then played that a little bit, and then I played it a lot more, and then I was like, oh, what else did these developers make? And it turns out it's only one game, this one here. It's an amazing game though, right? So yeah, we started with humble beginnings, with the wizard training. This was my first character, the wizard, and after the wizard I played, I think it was Hunter, another ranged character. Hey, wait, what? Is there an item here? Is this the item I'm missing? Learn the basic mechanics of the game through a short tutorial? I don't think there's an item here. Let me just check out. What is this? Welcome to the card quest. It's your turn. Pick an attack card. I don't remember doing this. Good, you started a chain. Most cards have extra effects when played during. Is this the item I'm missing? Don't tell me this is the. No way, right? Excellent. All cards have stamina cost. Be careful not to spend too much in one turn because you'll need some to defend yourself, right? Well, here I am saying that I did not. We will not do any like gameplay today. It's your turn again, right? You gain 5 stamina. I don't remember playing this. Could it be? Have fun. Okay. No way. I mean, for what class would the items here be anyway? Congratulations, you've completed the tutorial. If you want more tips on how to play each class, you can try completing the trainings. Have fun with it. Yeah, no, there's no item here. Okay, but I wanted to check just for sure. Anyhow, we played Wizard, then Hunter, then Rogue, then Fighter. First I played the range classes, then the melee classes, and the most survivable class, I'm gonna say, it's the Paladin class from the Fighter. And you get it by leveling up, and it's the safest one. But let's talk about them, like, a little bit. Okay, new game, the Wizard. There we go. So the Wizard class has 3 subclasses: Arcane School, Necromancy School, and Pyromancy School. And then, of course, there are items. The Arcane School, I feel like it has very good cyclability. You're able to draw a lot of cards very often. You can get like really long turns and like go on and on and on and kill all the enemies, right? And what supplements the Arcane School really good is, I believe, let me find it here, the Book of Storms, and whatever here really. But I think Mirror Scrolls might be the best, but I don't know what. I think I played with Shield Scrolls first, and then I don't even remember anymore. But the scroll is not so important. These two is amazing. And then of course any items you pick up which help you with arcane charges. drawing cards and stuff like that. But yeah, this was the first I played, and I was doing really well. In the end, I think on my first run I died from like some heavily shielded enemies. I just did not have the tools for it nor the experience to do it properly. But in hindsight, I probably could have won my first run with the wizard, with the basic wizard here, if I knew a little bit more of the game. So the first like impression I got from this game is that it's really fair. Like you build a deck before you go on a journey, and then you like with this tree, and then you can like change it a little bit in the journey when you pick up new stuff here, new books and new scrolls. But in general, your deck doesn't get bloated. You don't remove cards from your deck. Like basically it depends on these 3 items here, and I found that pretty fascinating. It's really good. It's really good. Usually the card games do it differently. I was very impressed by how this game does it, and yeah, this is my favorite like card game of this type. Like, I think what it does splendid, and while other games bloat the deck and let you destroy cards, give you a lot of flexibility, they are usually also an unbalanced mess. And this one, well, there are stronger things than the other things, but I don't know. You just don't feel like RNG will screw you over, right? And that's a really good feeling. You can tailor your experience to your liking with your items here that you picked up, and it's really cool. Also, this game will nail you to the ground, like in one turn if you do a mistake, and that's also cool. I like it. So it gives you all the tools you need, but if you mess it up, well, it's not gonna go easy on ya, let's just say that. So Arcane School, probably my favorite one. And then the Necromancy School, it's really hard to play. The cards, both the Necromancy School and the supportive abilities, like focus on like killing enemies to gain these special resources, souls, and also you have these revenant things that allow you to summon things, well, quote unquote summon, but it's really hard to play, or very often you have to pay a life to draw cards, and then you have to, like this dark ritual here, and then you have to figure out ways to get it back. It's really slow to play. I still did not really, well, I did win, obviously, because I unlocked the Lich. You have to complete the city with the Necromancy School, the Book of the Dead, or the Book of the Dead, and Scrolls of the Damned, or the Guardian Scrolls, Necromancer Robes. So yeah, it's definitely doable, but it was one of the harder things I did, unlocking the Lich, because of just how slow and hard to play as Necromancer is. So it's probably the least favorite and the most challenging school from the Wizard, but it's fun. It's fun. Next week, if you're gonna revisit this game a little bit, maybe, I don't know, Wednesday, Thursday, I'm gonna be playing Necromancy School again, because last time I played it I lost, but I played some random things, so it didn't really work out. Then we got the Pyromancy School, like very, very strong and powerful, does a lot of damage, especially if you took the right book. I think this is the book to take. Scorch, Firebolts, and Fire Blasts, and well, you can stun the enemies, and there's also an amazing Mist Scrolls here, but until you unlock it, it's not gonna feel so great. These will reduce the heat, which is the limiting factor for the Pyromancer. There is no Prestige class Pyromancer crying in the corner, I don't know why, but hey. But anyway, if you're gonna be playing Pyromancer, this is probably the best setup. Pyromancer Schools, Book of Scorching, and Mist Scrolls, and I played this recently, and it felt really, really good. It's a strong setup, does a lot of damage, you go fast through the enemies, and with these scrolls, you're gonna be pretty safe, making enemies unaware. Also, another unawareness card. So you can both stun and make enemies unaware, which are two of the strongest mechanics in the game, and it's really, really strong. So yeah, it's kind of cool. Now, for my lightning options and stuff, books here, there are all kinds of stuff. My favorite is Books of Storm, obviously. I'm gonna go through the books a little bit now. And then, I don't know, maybe lightnings are also nice. They become very, very cheap, and you can cycle through the deck with them as well. Then something like Book of Arcane, so-so. Although they are interesting to play. I think we play this as well. And then this is some basic stuff, but they're kind of very expensive, so I don't like it too much. For the Wizard, well, I like the Scorches the most because they draw 2 cards each. I don't use the the fireballs too much. If you're gonna go very hard on stun, I guess you can take more fire blasts. And then we got this ignite here, which doesn't draw a card, which I don't like. I think this is too much not drawing card. But then you have a firestorm, which is an amazing AoE spell, but I don't know, just doesn't feel, I don't feel like it. I think this is fairly balanced. And then the configuration, didn't really remember it. Oh right, this is a really strong single nuke. Yeah, so this one very good for single target, I guess. This one here really good for AoE, but this one's balanced. I like this one the most. And then you have, of course, the necromancy books. The Book of the Dead, I played the first, I think. We have special resources here as well. It's okay, it's okay. Book of Shadows, Confusion, makes enemies unaware. These are strong because they make enemies unaware. But I struggled a little bit playing it. They're pretty expensive on the souls, so I kind of struggled. And then Book of the Dread. Well, there is an additional life drain, so that might help with the card draw and regaining life. But it is very expensive on the souls. And then as for the scrolls, this is definitely the best scroll for the Pyromancer. And heat scrolls, not a huge fan of. I would definitely go Mist scrolls. I don't remember if I even played it. These generate heat, and with the Pyromancer the biggest problem you have will be dropping heat, not gaining it. So this will really slow you down. Mist scrolls help you chill down, and well, that's really important. And it's kind of a weird class as well, because there's a lot of bonuses for Pyromancer, which makes you start combat with extra heat and gaining heat per turn. And gaining heat, in my opinion, is really bad for the Pyro, so I usually avoid those effects, which seems a little bit weird, right? And then, I don't know, my favorite scroll here is Mirror Scrolls. Amazing thing about them is that they're free to play, so I kind of often take these. Just you make a resource to block with this split image card, and then you get 3 blocks. 3 blocks which don't cost any stamina are the strongest thing in this game, I believe. And then you have items here, whole bunch of different ropes. These are good for the arcane build. This one for image scrolls build. This one could be like 2 different things. Necromancer ropes, obviously for Necromancer. These are pretty, you know, solid, but nothing super special. They're just enhance whatever you choose to play as. I didn't really play mix and match too much, like something which would be half Pyromancer, half Arcanist though. So maybe we try something like that. But I think it's best to just specialize in one thing, just to have this nice reliability, right? This Sky Stone looks hilarious though. When used, it gives 12 arcane and deals 10 damage to all enemies and yourself. Didn't use this one yet, it's kind of insane. So with the stones here we have similar thing as with the ropes. We have stones which help like arcane builds like Arcane Channeler, Blink Stone, Mana Pearl. Then you have stones which help the fire builds like Fire Stones. And then finally you have the scrolls which help like Necromancy builds like Spider Ring. Storm Ring, also the Arcane, a lot of love for Arcane here. That ring will help the Necromancer. Not much love for the Pyromancer. This is the only one I found like to work more or less. And then we have items which you get from like bosses when you defeat them. Shadow Crown makes you vulnerable to death, but you will have to fight a very strong Lich, whatever, Shadow King to survive after that. Forest Crown, probably one of my favorite items in the game. Give you specific abilities based on your class. You have to defeat the final boss of the 3rd area to get it though. Run Crafter's Mask, very fun card ability here. You can farm gold by buying runes which take HP from you but give you lots of gold, and you can like buy a whole bunch of really good runes. You can also combo it with Gorg the Merchant and have a whole bunch of really powerful items at the end of the run. So this is a really good combination. Even better, you can run like Yololo the Bard together with the Runecrafter's Mask, get a whole bunch of good items, and then you can use Lolo the Bard to switch Runecrafter Mask for something useful for the final fight, and switch the Lolo for the Merchant, buy a whole bunch of nice items. It's really good combination. I like it a lot. And yeah, as for the stones, you have a Dragon Whistle, which lets you start somewhere else, not from the start. But if you start from the start, you're gonna be way more powerful when you reach the end, because especially if you use something like Runecrafter's Mask or something else that can let you farm things as you move along. So I didn't really use this Dragon Whistle a lot, But I guess if you just wanted to like go to a specific area and get a specific item, you could do that. Especially good when you're trying to get something which is dropped off a rare mob. Which is a thing, I guess. And then finally these items here. So the wizard has a lot of familiars. Again, familiars very similar to like ropes and the rings. Most of the familiars will help enhance the class. So for example, like, I don't know, dragon familiar is gonna enhance the pyro. Well, actually also this I don't like too much. A lot of them will like draw cards for you. This one will draw 2, so I like it very much. Some of them will make hidden enemies visible, like this crow here. This was my first familiar. I liked it a lot. And then you have this bag of riches, which is a really silly item. Like each time you use it, you get some gold out of it. If you do it enough times, you will pull out a special item. For the wizard here, the special item is a sky stone. This was the last item I obtained. But every class has a special item they can get out of this bag of riches. Really interesting. Yeah, it's like a secret item you can get. But anyway, and a curse box. If you defeat the thing that comes out of the curse box, you get a demon heart, I believe. It's not listed here. It turns into something. I think it might turn into... I don't remember what happens with the demon heart from the wizard. Oh yeah, you get an imp familiar. So wizard fights the demon. With the demon heart you get from the curse box, and then when you defeat the demon, you can with the demon heart you can get imp familiar, but you have to defeat the familiar as well. So it's like a long chain of quests, but you don't have to do it in one run. You can do it over multiple runs, so it's kind of cool. I think this is the best familiar for the pyromancer, by the way. I already said about Gorg the Merchant and Lolo the Bard. Alchemist set, not huge fan of. I mean, you can like get some nice potions and stuff for the final fight throughout the run, but I think the Gorg the Merchant is way better way to use your money. And yeah, that's gonna be it for the wizard. It's like a strong ranged class. It ignores most its abilities, or all of them really. Ignore the thorns effects that enemies put on. You can keep distant from the enemies and still attack them. There are like abilities such as Blink that's gonna let you like keep distance. It's a very tactical class with very low HP and very low stamina, so you have to use your resources well. They're very tight, but it is a powerful class. You can unlock 3 subclasses: Stormmaster, which is good for like an Arcanist, Lich, which is good for a Necromancer, and Enchantress, which is good like for well, Arcanist really. Nothing for Pyro though. But yeah, I'd say Wizard is a really good starting class for new players, and a lot of people consider it the easier starting point. I played it as a first class. It was a good learning experience. So if you're figuring out what class to start with, I think Wizard would be a nice place to start. And go Arcane, it's gonna be a pleasant experience. Then let's talk about my second class I played. It's a Hunter. It's a little bit more complex to play. It has a little bit more HP, a little bit more stamina, but it has this mechanic with arrows, right? So your abilities which you shoot cost arrows, and you have to recover them. Usually you have some kind of quiver, which will let you get arrows back. And usually sometimes you have some other ways of gaining arrows as well. But yeah, basically you have one very critical resource that you have to manage together with your stamina. So it's a little bit more complex class. I'd say it's more powerful than the wizard once you learn how to use it. It has a lot of amazing abilities. So Hunter here has Phase School, Ranger School, and Sharpshooting School. The Phase School like puts you like in this Fey realm where all the enemies become unaware. It's very powerful but pretty clunky to use. The biggest danger is that if you drop out of Fey realm on 4 Fey or 3, then you will lose all your Fey, and sometimes then you cannot use some abilities like at all. For example, like, I don't know, if you're using Fairy Quiver, you will not be able to use Fey. This resource here, you will not be able to play this card at all without Fey, and you can get stuck very badly. I got stuck once, and I think I got either almost killed or killed. It was nasty. Then you got the Ranger School. It's like kind of a balanced school, but I never really liked it. And then you have Sharpshooting School, which is my favorite. It has a very nice card here, Plant Escape, which lets you make enemies distant. It has a very nice bonus, actually, that is not listed here. You start distant from enemies. And I think that's really good. If you're gonna be playing as the hunter, I really suggest learning the game using the sharpshooting school. And then once you get the ropes, you can try the other two. Maybe you like them, I don't know. But this one's definitely the easiest. You're gonna unlock it through the run when you level up enough. Just grab it and play with it. Oh, let me just check something out. Yeah, abilities for wizard also, like similar to ropes and the scrolls and the things, like really support whatever you pick. It's a pretty simple class. Then for the hunter, well, hunter has some really powerful abilities. For example, this one, start battles distant, will give you extra distance and protect you from charging enemies. That's just amazing. Charging enemies are an interesting thing in this game. Very powerful if you're not ready for them. Wizard can blink away, Hunter can start distant and be safe from them. And then, well, Warrior and Rogue, we're gonna come to them. But anyway, there's one here on level 9 and there's one here on level 4. These two are like mandatory to pick up to have a safe play with a Hunter. Everything else is probably like, you can choose whatever you like, but these two really important. Positioning Expert. 1 and 2. Obviously, sharpshooter is gonna get you one extra distance, but maybe you don't need both. But yeah. So yeah, we got 3 schools here. Then we got a whole bunch of different bows. These are very flavorful and fun. So my favorite bows are short bows. That's the fairy bow, the simple bow, the short bow. I like them a lot because they have a cheap shot here, which costs very little stamina and draws a card, and it becomes even cheaper if it's on chain, so you can like cycle a lot. I like cycling, so anything in this game that's gonna let me cycle through the whole deck. There are 2 very powerful cards. One gives you 5 stamina and draws a card for 0 cost, and there is another one which gives you 2 stamina, and you need stamina to play most things, and draw 3 cards. And cost 0 gives you 2 stamina and 3 cards, and these cards are in all the decks of all the classes, so the more often you can draw these cards and play them, the more powerful you'll be. So that's why cycling cards is really good strategy. So yeah, I really suggest playing like short bows. So these 3 are kind of short bows, and this one maybe this one's like kind of something middle ground. And then you have the long bows, demon bow, composite bow. I'd say singing bow is a long bow as well, because yeah, it costs 4 stamina to shoot these abilities, and costs only -1. This costs 1 on cycle, this one's cost 1 on cycle, this one also costs, well, this one costs 2. This one's the weakest of the 3. I think this might be your starting bow as well. So yeah, bows. So you have short bows, which I like for cycling. Then you have the long bows. They do more damage, but you're gonna cycle less. So yeah, and then you have crossbows. Crossbows are the slowest of them all and do the most damage. I'm not a huge fan of these actually. Yeah, they're really hard to play with. I play them to unlock the arbalist class, but definitely the weakest bows, in my opinion, the crossbows. So yeah, all of them do all kinds of different things. Like the fairy bow can make you, with the fairy shot, you can go into fairy realm, make all the enemies unaware. This is really powerful, the fairy shot. Fairy bow, definitely my favorite bow. We played it the most, and I think it's the strongest. This one has some interesting abilities which become stronger and stronger as you stack them up. I think I played it once. It's pretty cool. And then crossbows, I don't know. If you're gonna play something, play an arcane bow. It stuns the enemies, that helps a lot. And then we have the quivers. So this is the way how you get arrows back. Each of the quiver will have a recover arrow ability, which will let you get some arrows back. Each of the quiver will also have some arrows. Arrows are an interesting thing. If you play them off the chain, they're gonna cycle themselves, and they usually cost nothing. They cost like 1 arrow, but they give 1 arrow back. So it's like you don't lose anything. And all of these arrows give like these special things, special effects to your next shot, and it's really cool. They come in all various shapes and sizes. Some of them make enemies undodgeable, some of them make enemies unaware. This one makes enemies unaware. Very, very powerful. Some of them, like fairy arrows, don't actually cost arrows, but they give you arrows, which is a way to get arrows, but their quiver really sucks, so to compensate for it. And yeah, some of them boost your damage quite a bit. So yeah, depends. There's plenty to pick and choose here. So whatever you choose between these two, you'll find a good quiver to go with it. A lot of flexibility, a lot of flavor. I like it a lot. My favorite quiver is either Mushroom Quiver, because it can reduce enemies' armor, which is like sometimes a pain to go through, especially if you use a short bow. And then Spore Arrow, which makes enemies unaware. That's really, really powerful. So that's my favorite quiver, probably the Mushroom Quiver here. But if you're farming money by using the Rune Crafter's Mask, you can take Witch Quiver so you can regain HP on kill. So Witch Arrows can be really good until you get to the final boss. There I would choose something else. Although they have Blinding Arrows, which are also really, really good, make enemies unaware. No way to, like, this one costs HP though, oof. So you feed it with your own HP. It's kind of scary, but these two are really good. Ghost Quiver also pretty good, but uses souls, so be careful. The rest are okay. Not huge fan of Fairy Quiver, is very hard to play with, but I don't know. You can try it out, I guess. I would play this one, always, if I had to choose. Then as for the items here, well, way less choices here. So we got some cloaks here, which give some extra arrows when used, some stamina maybe, health points, nothing super crazy. So yeah, I usually play with the Forest Crown, I'd say. Yeah. If you don't have the Forest Crown, I don't know, any of these will do, just choose whatever. These for farming resources, obviously gold, and well, this if you don't need anything else. The best item, one of the best items in the game for the boss fights, the Forest Crown. Then we got a whole bunch of trinkets here, like going from like single effects, doing like extra damage, like an extra arrow here, to like some crazy effects like this one. 12 damage, only to melee though. So this is like a Fire Breath Decoction. I use this one a lot. It has a lot of spike damage. If you get into trouble, you can use this 3 times on a melee target and do 36 damage. It's really, really powerful. I usually default to this if I'm worried that I'm not gonna do well. Otherwise, I don't know. Nothing super fancy here. Maybe you want to take something that heals you if there is an option. Vampire heals you. If you're gonna farm with Runecrafter's Mask, then the Vampire Hour is really good. Otherwise, well, whatever you feel like comfortable using. I do prefer using items. I don't like items which take more than 1 round to recharge. So something like Howling Arrow would not be my first choice. Or I don't know what else. Meat Cleaver. It's nice to have something you can use each fight and not worry about it that you're missing out or something like that. And then finally the bag here. Like I said, I think Lolo the Bard replaced with Gorg the Merchant is the best combo. But other than that, I don't know. Well, healing if you want to farm the Runecrafter Mask runes and gold. You got a nice companion here which you can use. The text hidden enemies, that's really useful. That effect is so strong. Energy Decoction, yeah. Usually here, I either use something I have to use, like a Curse Box or a Bag of Riches to unlock something, or just use Lolo the Bard. Lolo the Bard, one of the best. Even if you don't choose to, it's gonna allow you to switch items between fights, which is really, really powerful if you need to counter an area. Usually you don't. If you play well, you don't have to take it, but it would allow you to switch like any of these. You can even switch himself, but then after you go to the next area, you're not going to be able to switch anything else. Keep that in mind. It's also pretty good. Increases your regeneration, gives you nice bonuses. Hunter, yeah, a good ranged class. Powerful, I'd say more powerful than the Wizard. Wizard struggles with some fights, and there are definitely Hunter builds which we can do well against any encounter. Something like Sharpshooting School, Fairy Bow, Mushroom Quiver, Forest Crown, Fire Decoction, and Yolo the Bard. This would be my favorite setup here, and this would be able to do well against, I'd say, pretty much any encounter in the game. If you think there's an encounter in the game that this will not do good against, let me know and I can try it out. For the Wizard, also I like playing Changeling usually. So the advanced classes here, Changeling is really nice if you're gonna play a lot of like Fae. Arbalist, well, 2 maximum stamina I value very much. Amazon's a bit weird. It makes arrow volley cost -1 and draws an extra card. Problem with that is that the arrow volley is in the ranger school, which is not the most powerful one. I don't think so. Dodges are really strong in this game. They straight up ignore enemies' attacks, so dodges are the most powerful things to avoid damage. So distracting shots are the most powerful dodges, defenses. And then take cover blocks only for 4. There's some enemies, well, these are also dodges, so that's kind of cool. But they're expensive, so these ones are cheaper, that's why I like them. And Face School also has dodge. Hunter has a lot of dodge, but these are also expensive, so I prefer this because they're cheap. That's like the recurring thing with me. I like extra stamina and I like cards which cost less stamina. I think that's the way to play this game to be very successful. So because of that, I didn't play a lot of Amazon like at all. Maybe I should try it out. So Changeling starts with 2 protecting Stranglevines and an extra Fae, which is pretty powerful by the way. And if you want to stamina, this is really good. Plus 1 extra arrow as well, really good. Arbalist Changeling, really good. Amazon kind of crappy, but you can make it work, I guess. If you're gonna play the Ranger School, take Amazon. Why not, right? Well, you'll need to unlock it first, though. Anyway, this would be my favorite setup for the Hunter. Let me go back. What would be my favorite setup for the Wizard? It would be Arcane School, right? Book of Storms, Mirror Scrolls, probably Enchantress. Either Enchantress or the Storm Master. Storm Master's probably a little bit more powerful, though. Here, unless we're gonna use Runecrafter's Mask, I think Arcane Ropes are really good. Illusion Ropes give you 1 extra dude of this, so probably Illusion Orbs, of course, Forest Crown if you have it. As for this, for the stone, something that doesn't take 2 rounds to fill up, so either this or this. I like Thunderstones, they're pretty good. And then here, obviously, Yellow the Bard. If you want to relax, not worry about hidden enemies, take something like a Crow Familiar. If you want consistency, take the Owl Familiar. Although, like with the Forest Crown, you're gonna have so much card draw, you don't really have to worry. I'll definitely go Yellow, right? Yellow Thunderstones for Forest Crown. If you don't have Forest Crown, then the Arcane Ropes would be a good substitution. If you don't have Yellow the Bard, then I don't know, my favorites are All Familiar, Crow Familiar. This one for the Pyromancer, but not for this setup, right? Maybe Owl. There's something like this. And then here, Stormmaster, right? And then let's see, the Hunter, let's say without the Forest Crown, I don't know what I would choose here. Probably this. Gives 2 extra arrows when used, that's really powerful. Arrows will be your limiting resource if you're playing short bows for sure. And if you don't have Yellow the Bard, that's pretty good, stuns 3 enemies. Fairly useful, gets you out of problems. Landmines, okay, Bear Traps, pretty good as well. Yeah, but I would go Net probably, to be honest. That's really fun. Each use stuns 3 enemies, that's super powerful. Okay, so yeah, the Hunter was my second class. I was already doing way better than with the Wizard, dying way less. Doing way better, not that I was dying a lot with Wizard, but it was like even more powerful than the Wizard. Then I played Rogue, then I realized Rogue is even stronger. So from the Rogue schools, you have the Assassination school, which is really good against enemies which have like thorns. So the Rogue is the first class you're gonna struggle with against because it's melee, right? And I guess this video will be like 1 hour long, but that's fine. Let's talk a little bit more. I really like how these classes distinct are, right? So the Wizard and Hunter are like ranged classes, and they want to stay away from the enemies on the safety, and most or all of them attacks are ranged and they have no problems. And then you have Rogue, which most of his attacks are melee, so you will have to find a way to get close to them. You can either wait in the shadows for them to like get closer to you, so like vanish, stuff like that. Our Street School has hide, but my favorite is probably Swashbuckling School. Swashbuckling School has the launch. It's one of the most powerful abilities for a melee class. It's gonna stun 3 enemies, it's not dodgeable, and it's gonna reduce the distance. So basically you go in their face and then you start smacking them down. Launch, my favorite ability for the Rogue. And interestingly enough, the my favorite school for the rogue is not the assassination school, which I think you unlock the last. This is the starting school, the street school. It's kind of cool, but I think it loses its power. It's kind of clunky to play. My favorite is swashbuckling school. Amazing distance closer launch. Amazing ability to dodge attacks, 4 dodges, which become really cheap because rogue has ability to reduce the cost of dodge cards by 1 for the first 2 turns, and usually 2 turns is enough to kill most enemies. And after that you don't care if your cards become expensive again, because most of the enemies are dead. So if you take expert dodging twice, like here and here, these cards will cost 1 and 0 on chain, so you can dodge forever. It's really good. These also draw 2 cards on chain, so you can dodge a lot. It's really powerful. Fury of Attacks draws 2 cards for 2, amazingly strong. I don't know, I played a little bit with Assassination School. It's slower to play, you can hide in shadows, you can do all kinds of neat stuff. There are problems, you can make attackers unaware. This one really struggles with enemies which are unaware immune. Also, unaware immune enemies have a lot of thorns as well. So that's a problem for melee classes. So this will be good if you don't run into any slimes and stuff. When you do, well, pray, you're probably gonna die. So this one can more easily solve that. Then for the weapon, my favorite weapon is this claws here. I don't use mangle, so I just use these claws to increase the damage of the claws by just using them. Each time you swipe an enemy, you get a little bit more bloodthirsty, and these claws do more and more damage. After you play 4 of these do so much damage, it's not even funny. They do like a lot of damage for very small amount of stamina. It's really powerful. So Wolf Claw, my favorite weapon. If you're dealing with the enemies which have thorns, then Scourge is an interesting option. A little bit more expensive, and it's really good for single target because it gives vulnerability to it, so you're gonna do more and more damage over time. It's a little bit more expensive, not as cyclable though, so that's a problem. For a long time though, I used things like daggers. I used jabs to cycle through my decks. This one I unlocked a little bit towards the end. So, but daggers, I like daggers the same reason I like short bows, because they are cheap, they let you cycle through the deck. And then if you want to go for something more powerful, you have swords. You have a fairy sword, short sword, and a broadsword. Fairy sword is probably the best. On chain it costs only 2, same as these. So base is a little bit more, but you can gain 1 Fey with it, and you can go into the Fey realm, making all the enemies unaware of you, which is really powerful. But yeah, definitely, my best choice is Wolf Claw, Fairy Sword, and then this for any specific fights. I use daggers a lot of time, because I did not have access to the Wolf Claw. Curse Dagger, really good to farm. Vampire Stab is good to farm with the Runecrafter's Mask. And yeah, but Wolf Claws, I defeated an enemy, which, like the Mushroom Cave, I defeated with the Wolf Claw. Like I had like this fast testing run. It's really nice and powerful. And then as for the subclass, well, if you can go and unlock the Demon Link, it's just broken. Gives 2 extra damage and regains 1 extra stamina. This one's so broken, you really want it. You will have to defeat the demon for it though, and then eat from its heart. But once you do, you can have this Demon Link class. It's gonna make things way more easier, and it goes really well with the Wolf Claw. Plus 2 damage on an attack, which is really cheap. Gonna make wonders for you. So yeah. These two, I don't know, not really huge fan. I mean, Hitman, really good for Assassination School, which I'm not like super like enthusiastic about, so I don't use it. Adventure, plus 2 stamina, that's good. First 6 attacks cost less. That's cool. That's cool. I would play Adventure if I didn't have the Demon Link. Demon Link surprisingly easy to unlock though on the Rogue, so go for it. Why not? So grab the Curse Box, summon the demon, defeat it. There are many ways to defeat the demon with the Rogue. It's one of the Rogue is one of the easiest class to defeat the demon with, so shouldn't have any problems doing it. A lot of damage, a lot of melee damage. Demon strength is that its minions are unaware and stun immune, and the demon hits for quite a bit. And but if you have a lot of damage output, and Rogue is one of the highest damage outputs in the game, you have no problems defeating it. Then you got a secondary. Really interesting thing about Rogue is that the secondary abilities, while on the other classes there are usually some abilities which you don't even want to use. They're defensive abilities which, well, you prefer to just kill the enemy straight up. Rogue's secondary abilities are just amazing. Bear Rogue and Bag of Tricks, my favorite ones. They both allow you to play things on your turn, not defensive things. So Chip Trick, really amazing. Arm Parry sucks, never play that. Bag of Tricks, Pixie Dust, amazing. Fairy Bombs, a ranged attack, which is amazing as against enemies which have thorns and stuff. So if you think you're gonna go into some fights that's gonna be hard for you, this is definitely a stronger item. Baroque, better for cycling, way better. These draw 2 cards on chain, which is just broken. You can go through your deck multiple time over, just have a never-ending turn. So with the Baroque and Wolf Claw, very often you'll be able to go through your deck as many times as you want. It's quite broken, so yeah. And interesting thing is, you actually start with the broken, with the Chip Tricks, with the Baroque you start. And yeah, it's really good. You have some ranged options like throwing knives, they're really slow. You need throwing knives, I believe, actually to unlock the Hitman. You either need that or some of the daggers. So yeah, it's a bit hard to unlock the Hitman because you have to play something which in my opinion is not the best, but this thing, but it's okay. You have Curse Disc, you can be the Xena, the warrior princess with the disc throw. Didn't use this a lot, but I guess it's kind of cool. You have a buckler for defensive option. You have an offhand dagger, which like puts a lot more attacks in the deck, the jabs and the serrated jabs, but I don't know, the blocks are kind of weak and just clutter up your deck. This doesn't matter if this arm parry clutters up your deck. It draws 2 cards on the chain and you get Chip Tricks to draw a lot anyway, so yeah. So I'd say this is like my favorite setup here, together with the Swashbuckling School and then the adventure if you don't have the Demon Link. As for the armor, well, obviously the Forest Crown is the best, but the Rogue has like access to some really good items as well. So my other 2 favorite ones would probably be Harpy Cloak. This is like a free lunch. It reduces the distance of 3 targets, stuns them, and draw a card. If you're not gonna be playing the Swashbuckling Skull and have access to lunch, I would heavily recommend to take the Harpy Cloak instead. And if you are, then Wind Cloak is really good. Recharges 5 stamina and draws a card. This is really powerful. Not many armors do an effect such as that. Of course, this for farming things, this is probably the best one, and the others I would probably avoid unless you have to unlock the class, of course. For the Trinket, Lucky Pennies, draw 2 cards, really gives you nice sustainability cards-wise. If you need healing, Royal Elixir is really good. Heavily recommend, or Magic Mushrooms. So these 2 are really good healing items. So if you're doing the Runecrafter's Mask shenanigans, then these 2 are really good. Otherwise, this one does quite a bit of damage, so it's a cool choice if you need like spiky damage. But in general, I would probably play, or this if you want to be safer. So Smoke Bomb here and the Shadow Cloak here if you need to be safer. It's gonna make you start combats hidden. This is the Rogue's way to be safe from the chargers. So if you're worried about chargers, either Shadow Cloak or the Smoke Bomb will solve the problem for you. Otherwise, yeah, probably like Lucky Pennies here and then here the Forest Crown. If you don't have it, then the Wind Cloak maybe. For the bag, Dwarven Bones, broken. 8 damage, stuns 3 enemies. You can also buy this thing from the dwarfs sometimes. You get free charges for it for the final boss and a lot of damage with it. It's really powerful. Yellow the Bard, of course, or Dirge the Merchant into the Yellow the Bard would be a really good options. If you don't have them, Dwarven Bombs are really good. Poison Darts are nice. Obsidian Shards. These are really good to start the chains off and do some nice damage. These recharge multiple charges each fight, which is really good as well. I think 2, maybe 3. Not sure how many these though. Try it out. These are really good. And Dwarven Bombs, amazing. Others, well, everything has their use, right? But this is just something I like the most. For spiky damage and stun, these ones are the best. Okay, so that's gonna be the Rogue. For the weapons, I talked a little bit already, yeah. That's gonna be the Rogue. Probably, like, if you want to go through the runs really fast, the Rogue probably one of the faster ones, especially if you're using the claws here. And then finally the Fighter. So this is like maybe the slowest class to play, the Paladin School, but it's the safest one. So I say, if you start off with the Fighter on a fresh run, if you can get to Paladin, you can defeat any area of the game. I claim you can defeat any area of the game with your basic sword you get at the start of the game, your basic shield, no items, or whatever you start the game with, I don't remember, and just a Paladin Skull, because it's just so blatantly broken. This is dodge for 0, ladies and gentlemen. It draws 2 cards on chain. Like, you can like dodge for ages. This is dodge for 0, which blocks for 9 and recovers 12 stamina. Gains your fate and draws 2 cards. Broken. This Holy Aura, it increases your stamina regeneration by 5, your holy regeneration by 1, and you draw 2 cards with it. With this deck, you can like go through your whole deck on defensive phase. This is a defensive class. You'll mostly play it in the defensive phase, just dodging, getting stamina back with the Guardian Angel, playing Holy Auras. It's really, really powerful. It also has a heal which you can use each fight, which is kind of broken as well. So if you want to do something silly like farming gold with the Runecrafter's Mask, you can do it. It's insanely powerful, the Paladin class. So yeah, you can challenge me if you want, like to do any area of your choosing. I don't have the starting sword, sadly, but I guess we can use the... That kind of sucks, right? We can use some other weapon, I don't know. But yeah, that's a good question, like what do we use here? Just choose whatever you think is the weakest weapon here. And is this the starting shield? I don't know what's the starting shield, something. One of the shields, right? So I can defeat anything with starting items on the fighter as long as I get to the Paladin School. It's insane. So Beast, Lich, Dragon, Precognition just makes it way too powerful and way too reliable. So what do we start with? I actually don't know what item do we start with. Maybe... Start with like a rosary? No. Well, we can check. I'm being silly. Training. Oh, you start with the sausage. Right. Well, I don't have the sausage either. So I would probably play without the trinket then, because this is way more powerful than the starting sausage. Anyway, yeah, there's a discussion on Steam. What's the best class? What's the best starting class? Maybe the best starting class is Wizard just because of how simple it is, but the strongest class, the strongest starting class is the Fighter, because you can unlock the Paladin School and then be like, nothing can touch you really. Right, so yeah, obviously Paladin School, my favorite school here. You can improve it by using the Holy Warrior. Also, actually this is better. The +2 HP, +2 stamina and improved alcohol resistance is better than +2 stamina and max fate. Max fate doesn't do much, so Dwarven Warrior probably. Doesn't have a third one. I guess they really wanted to release the game and didn't make it. Not so weird. Anyway, yeah, Paladin School, my favorite one. For the weapon, my favorite weapon is the Forest Axe. It's, well, I guess you can feel the pattern here, right? Its attacks are really cheap. It always draws a card, regardless if it's on chain or not, and it has a ranged attack here in terms of axe throw. This one is a lifesaver, so yeah, against enemies which have thorns. Really amazing item. If you want to do a lot of damage, I think for a lot of damage, this hammer here has a really nice combo you can pull off and do like a gazillion of damage. Cards are really expensive, but the warrior also have the highest base stamina, so it's not really a big deal. But if you want something reliable and strong, then Forest Axe. If you want some more ranged attacks, maybe you can go with Javelins. This one's kind of clunky to play though. Flail, the more you swing it, the better it becomes. It's really good, but makes your defensive cards weaker, so that's why I'm not the huge fan. I'm not a huge fan of axes here. The battle axe or the throwing axe is not so good. Axe throw here, not so great. And this also dull out the more you use them, so you become weaker and weaker, and it's really bad actually. Holy Sword, you would think this is a natural sword to play with the Holy. Problem is it's really slow. It does very little damage, and it gives extra damage for each point of fate you have. Problem is, you use all the fate in one swing once you use them. And if the enemies have like dodge, then you have to use an attack first to remove the dodge. And usually you're gonna remove the dodge with a really powerful attack, and it sucks so much. So yeah, even though this is probably the most, like my first run, I won. And I was lucky, I got both the Holy Shield and the Holy Sword, and it was a really nice run. But later, when I discovered some other items, I realized, well, this is not the best. This is kind of slow. So when I was unlocking the Holy Warrior here with my Holy Sword, I realized how bad it really is, the Holy Sword. So yeah, my favorite, the Forest Axe. Nice ranged attack. The attacks which don't get weaker over time. Nice card draw. Amazing. These make enemies distant, which doesn't make any sense. You want them to be close to you. What else do we have? Spear. Spear's kind of interesting. Does more damage if you have this well-positioned buff. It's clunky to play because of it though. This is not too bad. This is not too bad actually. If you play it on chain, it's like kind of okay. A little bit expensive, but definitely Forest Axe, the best, the best. You want to be like the Dwarven Warrior with access and with some holy behind it, and you're gonna be amazing. Holy Shield, my favorite shield. Shield of Light will deal 2 damage to enemies and make the enemies unaware. And you're gonna get some nice holiness from running the Holy Aura. And not losing holy to things like Holy Sword is really important for that to work properly, so yeah. You got some nice race shields here for some extra defensiveness, shield parries and stuff. Other shields, I feel like they're just weaker versions of this. This one you can farm some nice abilities with. You can farm a lot of life fruits. If you keep spamming this one, you'll need something to heal though. Spike shield's interesting. Enemies get damage when they attack you, but I don't know, I don't like that too much. Also, like what, that's five cards? This is also 5 cards, but this one definitely really strong. Making all enemies unaware is one of the strongest effect in the game. Yeah. Other shields like little bit of block, little bit of this, little bit of that. This one has the best defense, but it's also the most expensive one. This one can let you farm stuff. This is just a weaker version of this one. Spike shield is like this shield with an extra spikes, which does damage, but if you're gonna be relying on that, you need to play right spec shield though, this ability here. Yeah. You start with kite shield maybe? I think you start with kite shield. Or maybe the heater shield. One of these two I think you start with. I know you have race shield ability when you start off, so you start with one of these shield or maybe with a weaker version of them. Maybe a weaker version of this. No, I feel like you have this when you start the game. So you start with the Guardian School. You have defensive stance, which is really good. You just play it and nothing can touch you for like what, 2 turns? Gain 2 plus 2. No, for 3 turns you're safe with this against most easy enemies. And you have a nice dodge here. So Guardian School will keep you alive until you unlock Paladin School. It's not as good, but it's pretty strong. This is the second reason why the warrior is so good, the fighter. The Guardian School will keep you alive through the early stages of the game, and then the Paladin's gonna take over and totally blast the stronger enemies. This is like the smoothest transition. And then the Berserker School is a little bit weird. You can try it out, it's kind of cool. You kill enemies really, really fast. But against stronger enemies, you're gonna struggle. I did. But it's really fast. Together with Rogue, this is probably the fastest way to play through the game with the Berserker School. Just like I use Forest Axe and the offhand hatchet, and it's pretty good. You just go and X slash your way through enemies. X hack and X slash draw like a million cards. Your cards will also be cheaper. You're gonna get angry. If you get enough rage, your cards will be cheaper. This will cost only 1, this will cost 1. They're gonna cost 0 on chain. It's like totally broken. You can go through your deck over and over again and slash everything. Only problem is ranged enemies, right? If you're playing the Berserker. But I recommend try this out at least once. Berserker School with Forest Axe and Hatchet. Doesn't even matter what you take here. This is so fun to play, but the Paladin definitely the strongest one. With the Forest Axe, I would suggest not Holy Sword. And probably Holy Shield. Yeah. As for the armor, you have some amazing options here. So you can get your HP so high. For example, you can go up to 36 HP. You can take a whole bunch of damage in the area and then heal like, I don't know, 10, 12, a lot of HP. I think you heal about 1/3 of your HP, something silly as that. It's really insane. And yeah, some very powerful armors here you can use. Forest Crown, obviously, I like the most. It's just the best item in the game. For most circumstances. But yeah, varying amounts of different armors which give more and more. There are some Berserker options like Wolf Pelt, Vault Paint, Bear Hide, Boar Skin. These are mostly for the Berserker who doesn't want to slow himself down with his heavy armors and doesn't want extra. And then you have this Cursed Armor, which is really, really weird, which I didn't use a lot, but not good for a person of fate, that's for sure. Decreases the fate of its bear. But yeah, this one must be the best, right? Plus 16 HP, that's insane. Dwarven plate armor. Yeah, but like any basic armor will do. All of them do something nice things used to deflect attacks and stuff. As for the trinket, I think my favorite one is... Trollblood's kind of cool for the Berserker as well. But it can give you a bad thing, so be careful. Maybe a Rosary for the Holy Warrior or Angel Feather. Oh, by the way, when you defeat the demon, you also can fight the angel, I believe, with the warrior. Kind of cool. You get Angel Feather from it. Yeah, I fight the Fallen Angel, something like that. This is the Berserker option. This is like just nothing super crazy. You get this from the bag. Of course, the Dragon Whistle if you don't want to start from the start. But for Holy Warrior, I would probably go Rosary. And here, decreases max by 3, regeneration by 1. Yeah, this really slows you down, but I wouldn't say this is like a big deal. Maybe if you're confident and you don't want to be slowed down, you can take Forest Crown or... I don't know, something lighter, maybe Dragon Scale armor. This is a nice mix, you can use this for both Berserker or the Paladin. This is bad. Yeah, most of these will slow you down, so... If you don't want to be slowed down, maybe, I don't know, something like this, a Bearskin, even for a Paladin, it would work. I would go for this though, I think that's the best. Then Rosary, here, Yellow the Bard, of course, or Cork the Merchant into Yellow the Bard if you're struggling. And then, I don't know, this one's kind of cool. Recovers all stamina, that's really good because you have high stamina. Every use recovers... Oh, this one's also good. Every user recovers all stamina, gives drunkenness, but also deals 1 damage to yourself. So this is like the better version of the Dwarven Ale Cask, but a little bit more dangerous. If you need some range damage, you can take Slink, but... If you're farming the runes which give gold from Runcrafter's Mask, you can use the healing salves to heal. But you probably don't need to, because you have access to the Lay on Hands, so yeah. But probably YOLO. If you don't have YOLO, one this, and then if you don't have this. If you want to be good against energy enemies, then use this one. Yeah. Something like this. I like that. But yeah, I really like the Paladin subclass and Guardian as well. So nice and safe. I like playing safe classes in my card builders. The fights are much longer, but usually they're stronger to balance that out, and this one's really a beast. This is the most powerful and overpowered thing in this game. The Guardian school and the Paladin school after that. These two. Whatever else you play, these two are just like straight up broken. But you know, you're gonna use more of your personal time to like actually win because it's kind of slow, so yeah. So yeah, we are closing up to 1 hour. So yeah, I went through all the favorite things I consider in this game, through my favorite builds. My tier list, fighter definitely a tier 1 by far. After that, so if you wanna like win, if you wanna win a lot, fighter definitely tier 1 once you learn how to play it. Without items, tier 1. And then the other 3, I'd say they're balanced. They have some weaknesses, some advantages. Range class is definitely easier to play than the melee ones, but fighter my favorite fun by far. So yeah. If you build the wizard well, you can get some really nice things. This probably one of the best builds in the game. It would like this specific build competes with fighter really well. There are a couple of fights that are gonna be really slow because of the drawbacks of the class and lack of damage, but safety wise this would also be really good. Fighter is tier 1 class wise, but this certain build for wizard here, exactly this build here, would be tier 1 as well. While for the fighter all you need is Guardian School into Paladin School, right? And yeah, as for this game, I would say this game, one of my favorite like cards, kind of deck builder kind of things, although you don't really build the decks a lot. You choose them at the start of the game and then you play it out. But yeah, the best. Just I don't know any other game which is similar to this one that is so good. A little bit of retro graphics though. So that may put some people off, that's for sure. Like, it could look better, But I kind of like the look and feel, and I don't really care about graphics too much. I know that's important for people, so that's fine. But I like it a lot. A lot of different choices, a lot of flavor to the game, fairness, also challenge, a lot of different encounters you can go through. 3 different areas, each one of them having an FTL style map that you're gonna go through. This you can choose through which areas you go, and each area has like a very specific types of enemies you can get, and some of them you're gonna counter well, some not so well, and then you have the boss at the end, which you always know what's gonna be. So there's a beast at the end of the forest, there's a dragon at the end of the mountains, there's a lich at the end of the city. Each one has its own advantages, disadvantages. Lich is really good against builds which use unawareness. The dragon and the beast are really weak against unawareness. The dragon's most powerful probably against melee classes if you don't have ways to like get closer to his dragons to kill them fast. And then the beast is overall the strongest one, summoning a lot of nasty creatures 3 times. So if you don't have enough damage, if you don't have enough avoidance, if you don't have a good plan to go from face to face, the beast will wreck you. I got wrecked by beast once when I had this super powerful deck, and I tried to push the beast to jump the phase by doing so much damage that it skips one phase entirely. I failed, and then it got damaged on its own attack, and then it summoned 6 boars on its own attack, and boars have like charge, so they attacked me right away, and I played a deck with like no defensive cards because I relied on unawareness and the damage to survive, and I got destroyed. So yeah, one of the strongest builds ever that I built died by accident against the beast. So that's what I'm talking about when this game will smack you into the ground if you're not careful. What more to say? I don't know. It's a beautiful game. I unlocked pretty much everything I knew how to unlock. I played all the classes, like, I don't know, 50, 70 episodes of each class. I have it all sorted out in playlists. Yeah, it was time well spent. I explored this game to the fullest, learned a lot of it. And yeah, it was one of the loveliest experiences I had. And I really can't wait for this game to get a remaster one day. And I'm gonna play it from start to finish once more. So for anyone who likes card builders, deck builders, and turn-based games where you use cards to fight enemies, I would warmly suggest this game. And I would like to thank the developers for making this amazing game. And yeah, I've never played it in early access, so I don't know how that trip went. I'm in early access of the card survival now, and I know they are engaging a lot with the players. And it must have been quite something if the process was the same. I know I would enjoy that a lot. So maybe I'm a little bit sad because I was not a part of it, but I'm very happy I discovered both the developers and this game because, well, it was quite a trip. Anyhow, so since I love this game so much, I'm gonna be playing it some more, but I would like to give some chance to some other games as well. So maybe like once or twice per week, I'm gonna do like some kind of a build of this game. And I'm gonna go like through City of the Dead or the Dwarven Mountains, Enchanted Forest from start to finish. Just chill, relax, talk about what's new, what's happening. So we're gonna get some more content. So for you who like to watch my card quest videos, there will be more, just not as much as right now. And yeah, let's hope they finish the card survival really fast, and then one day they're gonna release the remaster of this game. Beautiful, beautiful, just beautiful. The most balanced, unbalanced card game I ever played. It's such a lovely trip. So yeah. Anyhow, if you enjoyed this 1 hour rant of me, which was supposed to be 30 minutes, but now it's like 1 hour and 2 minutes, well, maybe like and subscribe, check the other stuff I have on my channel. I'm a variety YouTuber, well, at least trying to be. Well, before anything else, I'm a video game player, right? At some point, I started to record the playthroughs I do and putting them on YouTube with like very low expectations. And I don't know, I have some people watching me, like the channel is growing slowly, but I have a lot of interesting content. So if you enjoy my rants, if you enjoy the way I play, I have a certain play style. I don't... I'm not the funniest dude around, but I try to be at least somewhat attentive to what's going on in the game. I try to be knowledgeable. I guess that's my strong point. So if you enjoy that, you can check out my other series. I always explore the game to its nitty-gritty details, try to figure out what's ticking under the hood. I'm always gonna try to like abuse some kind of thing, but not like bug and glitch abuse. I'm gonna try out what works, right? Like for example with like, I don't know, with the wizard getting like unlimited turns here, or with the rogue using like very strong things, or maybe with the fighter using this amazingly broken class, or I don't know, with a hunter using a fast bow to cycle through the deck, things like that, you know. Try to find what's powerful and use it to win more, right? And to lose less. So yeah, that's what the kind of player I am. So yeah, check out some of my other series. I put everything in playlists, so if you enjoy some of my video, you can easily find the next one by just opening the playlist. Usually I don't put the videos at the end of the screen. I let the YouTube decide what you're gonna watch next, because I think that's important for the discoverability. Like, I don't know, if somebody made a really amazing card quest video, I would even like, it's okay if the YouTube puts the link to that channel instead. I think that's totally fine, right? And yeah, I have things in playlists, so what else? Why would I put a video to the next of my video if you can use the playlist instead? But let me know what you think about that. Would you rather me to put some stuff here in the end? Would that like make it easier for you to find the next video? I could do it. It's a little bit of extra work, but you know, I'll do it if that's gonna make people happy. In the meantime, I wish you all to comment, like, subscribe, go into engagements with me, like talk with me. I like to discuss things. If you don't like discuss things, if you don't like if you don't like some of my builds, tell me why, and we can like go back and forth. No, this is good. No, this is good. No, this is bad. I really enjoy that kind of thing, you know, that kind of friendly banter and stuff. So yeah, I had some people which watched this card quest series and commented on videos. It was kind of fun. Lately, like less and less, but that's okay. People comment on my other videos, so I talk with them instead, so it's kind of cool. So yeah, hopefully you liked the video, and there will be some more, a little bit rarer than until now. And yeah, have a beautiful day, do something nice. I'll thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode, whatever that might be. Numer signing out, bye bye.